The most annoying trophy award shames those pesky trophies that really grind your gears or frustrate you due to how annoying they are to unlock. So here are the nominees for most annoying trophy. The More Gas More Mess trophy in Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness was just an utter disaster for me, and a trophy that I spent hours trying and failing to unlock. You see, this trophy requires you to get through the level without using any healing items, the respirators to breathe, and you also have to kill all of the enemies in the entire level, some of which spawn in the rooms behind you after you've just gone through them, clearing them out of enemies, so you're always having to backtrack often to make sure you haven't missed anyone. But the problem is the building is filled with poisonous gas, so your health is constantly depleting. Adding to the pain is Angel of Darkness' wonky shooting mechanics, as the lock-on is unreliable at best, as certain enemies will just go down in a few bullets, while others can take full clips, seemingly dodging your bullets as if they were Neo from the Matrix or something. And this just makes firefights really unpredictable, as they can go bad at the turn of a dime, resulting in you taking too much damage in an encounter or wasting too much time on a few enemies, which will just ruin your hopes of unlocking the trophy, as you'll probably die of poison before you even get to the end of the area. It took me countless attempts to get this one, and I realised I was failing it because I happened to heal once at the very start of this level, before this section of the level even started, which shouldn't really have counted against me, should it? But it did, and that's why this was super annoying. I found the look of the turtles in TMNT Mutants Unleashed to be just as annoying as I did in the movie, but what really peed me off when playing it was the Catch Them All trophy, finding all of the Digimutants, as it was a dumb collectibles trophy that implemented them into the game in the dumbest way possible. You see, these Digimutants are essentially just Pokemon characters that you can find in the game's hub worlds, with them often containing 2 per area, but it's the way in which you find them that was really annoying, because you have this scanner handheld device that you need to equip, and then you have to move this cursor slowly around the screen to find them. But instead of doing it properly like you would think they would make it, where you just hold down a button and hover over the areas until it beeps like a metal detector, you instead have to move the cursor and press X to check a very small specific area of that screen in that location where it's pointing. And if it's not there, you have to wait for this animation to end before you can move the mouse cursor again and pick another area of the screen, so you're essentially just pressing the X button on every pixel of the screen until you find one of these hidden Digimutants there, making this a slow and clunky way to find them and a pain of a trophy to unlock. It's annoying because it's super specific where the Digimutants are before you can find them. You have to be dead on them, and it's just so slow to have to tap this button, watch this little cursor animate, and then move and do it all over again when you have no real clue of where they are. It would be good if the Digimutants would slightly shimmer or something so you could see the sort of general area where they were, but no, you're just aimlessly pressing on the screen until you just happen to find one. And some of the areas of the hub worlds are quite big, so they could sort of be anywhere, and you have no real clue because the sort of nearby indicator thing is just BS as well, because you could be nowhere near them and it will say you're right by them, and other times you can be dead on them and it will say you're nowhere near them, so it's just crap. The whole thing is just broken and really annoying. And sure, it's pure luck, you might be lucky and get them straight away without really trying, but there's bound to be some that will just take way too many presses to find, and that is guaranteed to start to annoy you pretty quickly. The huge RNG grind to gather all of Purunga's Dragon Balls in Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero for the Come Forth Purunga trophy was one of the low points of the game, and it was such an unnecessary grind that it just felt like a big FU from the developer. Even when doing this fight here and ending it really quickly, it was still a massive grind that took me hours of replaying this fight over and over again in the hope that I would finally get awarded one of the random Purungan Dragon Balls, of which you need 7, yet most of the time I'd either get nothing for the fight or one of the other sets of Dragon Balls to just really annoy me some more. It was such a needless grind, and once I finally got all 7 and made that wish, I swore I'd never play this game again. Absolutely, 100% annoying. Because the wish itself wasn't even that good, and definitely wasn't worth the time I spent gathering all of those Dragon Balls. The other BS trophy in Nico Dorico, the golden trophy called What Did He Just Do, as this trophy requires you to beat the entire game with 0 deaths. So that means you'll have to beat all 28 levels and all 7 boss levels without ever dying once, because if you die just once in any of those levels, that is it. It is game over, as you have registered 1 death and the trophy is now voided. Now, as this is a kids game, it's a fairly basic platformer that is a cross between Donkey Kong Country and Crash Bandicoot, and while it's nowhere near as hard as those, there are still a few tricky levels, and having to get through the entire game without dying is challenging. But the thing that makes this trophy really tough and rather BS is the fact that your deaths are permanent, so if you were to die in a level and then try and replay it from the map screen, it will still register that death even if you then went on to beat the level without dying, so you can never just mop up the levels you died in after a playthrough and get the counter down to 0. It always remembers every single death you've had. And another problem I have with this trophy is that the bonus stages count as a death if you fail them, even though you don't actually die in the level for failing a bonus stage. It's just stupid. These shouldn't void the trophy if you just fail a bonus stage, like you don't get enough of the stars in time. So if you're going for this trophy, make sure you avoid the bonus stages. And while the game can be beaten in probably like 2 to 3 hours, it's still a long time to go through being perfect without ever making any mistakes or having the game glitch out on you and just kill you outright, like I had a few times in some of the bosses. Which made the What Have We Just Done trophy really, really annoying. Oh dear, those trophies are making me get annoyed all over again just thinking about them. Well, it's time to crown the most annoying trophy of 2025. For me, the What Did He Just Do trophy in Nico Dorico was the most annoying trophy of 2025, because this is a cute Crash Bandicoot and Donkey Kong inspired platformer that on the surface looks like it'd be a pretty fun and easy platinum, but this one trophy ruins all of that, as it requires you to beat the entire game without dying once. That's nearly 30 levels and 7 bosses to beat, all without dying, which is quite a lot to be perfect all the way through without messing up. Oh, and make sure you don't go into any bonus levels, as if you fail them, that will count as a death when technically it isn't actually a death, which is super annoying. And I even cheesed this trophy by backing up my save to the PS Plus cloud after beating each level without dying, but even then there was a lot of reloads as I slowly but surely worked my way through the game without dying. And I'm really glad I chose to cheese this trophy too, because the game is quite glitchy and some levels can just break on you, forcing you to then quit out or just have to kill yourself to reset it, which will then void your trophy. And it's also easy to die in the levels anyway when you're running through a level, because you might fall into a bottomless pit or have one of those cheap bosses that just take you out. This is definitely a tough trophy that only a few will bother going for, as it's just way too annoying.